Hello viewers, welcome to my YouTube channel. In this video, I will be taking you through the revision on oral skills, and we'll be looking at oral poetry. There is a sample poem here on the board which we can follow along as we discuss. So the poem goes, "Do not stand at my grave and weep. I am not there. I do not sleep. I am a thousand winds that blow. I am the diamond glints on the snow. I am the sunlight on the ripened grain. I am the gentle autumn rain. When you awaken in the morning's hush, I am the swift uplifting rush, of quiet birds in cycle flight. I am the soft stars that shine at night. Do not stand at my grave and cry, I am not there, I did not die." This is the poem that we are going to use to discuss various questions that you expect in your Kcse this year. But before that, viewers, allow me to ask those who are new here to hit onto that subscribe button so that anytime we produce a video like this, YouTube will automatically notify you. Again, to my subscribers, allow me to continue thanking you for the support. The first question, the candidate is expected to construct and describe the rhyme scheme. The marks allotted for that are 2 marks. So in describing the rhyme scheme or coming up with the rhyme scheme, then we need to look at the words that come at the end of each and every line. And we need to look at the final syllables of those words. And if they are similar, then we conclude that those words are rhyming. So in constructing a rhyme scheme, we normally begin from letter A. So the first pair that will be rhyming, we will assign the first alphabetical letter, that is letter A, to them. Like in this case, the word that ends the first line is weep. The word that ends the second line is sleep. The final syllable in these words are similar. So it means that the words are rhyming. So to both words, we will assign letter A, A. Moving to the third line, we have blow. Then fourth line, we have snow. They are also rhyming, so we will now move to the next letter after letter A, which is B. So we will have B against blow and then B against snow. So the same trend continues up to the end of our poem. Line 5, grain. Line 6, the ending word is rain. They also rhyme, so CC. Line 7, hush, and line 8 also ends in the word rush. They will also have assigned to them the same letters, that is letter DD. Flight and night, line 9 and 10 respectively. And then lastly, cry and die in line 11 and 12. So after assigning all those letters against the final words in the various lines that they appear in, we now move to the place where we are expected to give our response in the question. And underneath the question that is construct and describe the rhyme scheme, we will now come and put down the scheme that we have already found from the poem. And that is AA, BB, CC, DD, EE, FF. And after constructing that rhyme scheme, that is the construction of the rhyme scheme. In most cases, if we have maybe 2 stanzas or 3 stanzas, for each and every stanza, we will leave a space between the various letters to show that we are now moving to the second stanza. But in this case, we have just a single stanza. So we will have the letters placed together. And we will describe it by saying that the rhyme scheme is regular since it is predictable. We can easily predict that when we move from FF, if the poem were to continue, then we will have GG. After that, question 2 asks, how has rhythm been achieved in the poem above? So what the question requires from us is to identify sound devices, or what we call sound patterns, or what we call mnemonic devices in the poem above. In most cases, rhythm in poems is achieved through the use of rhyme and sound devices. So already in question 1, we have already known that there is rhyme. So there is no need to go about it again saying that there is rhyme. So let us look out for some of the sound devices present in the poem. The first sound device is what we call alliteration. And for the record, we need to know that alliteration occurs in a poem when the initial consonant sounds in words that appear on the same line of a poem are similar. Then we say there is alliteration. An example is on this line, I am the soft stars that shine at night. So the initial consonant sounds that are similar in the words that appear on that line is the initial sound S, which appears on soft, and the initial sound S, which also appears in the word stars. So there is alliteration. So you just write that there is alliteration, and in front of it you illustrate by writing that line where the alliteration appears and underlining the letters which represents the sounds that are repeated. Again, we have consonants, and consonants occurs when there is the repetition of consonant sounds at the middle or at the end of words that appear on the same line of a poem. An example hereby is in line 1, where the line goes, do not stand at my grave and weep. If you move to that line, then there is the repetition of sound T at the end of the words not and at. So there is that sound there, and there is that sound at that point. So there is the repetition of consonant sounds at the end of those 2 words that appear on the same line of the poem, and for that reason we have consonants. We also have assonance, and assonance is always the repetition of vowel sounds in words that appear on the same line of a poem. An example hereby is in the line that reads, I am the swift uplifting rush. So the repetition of vowel sounds occur in the words swift and uplifting. So where we have the sound A in swift and sound A again in uplifting. So there for you are 3 sound devices that help to achieve rhythm with the help of rhyme. One thing that I also need to notify the candidates is that sometimes there is a temptation to use the same line to illustrate more than one sound device. So you will find a candidate using the same line to illustrate alliteration. Could be alliteration is present in that line, and again assonance is also present in that line. So you find the candidate underlining for alliteration and underlining for assonance on the same line. So if there is assonance and alliteration appearing on the same line, then the candidate should first identify the alliteration using that line, and the candidate can also go ahead to illustrate assonance using that very line. Next time, the question will be on maybe a candidate is required to identify and illustrate the various sound devices present in the oral poem. Then the examiner can go ahead to ask the candidate to give the reason as to why those sound devices are used. So the one use or the one function will be what we have already discussed here. That is to create rhythm or what we call musicality. Number 2, these sound devices also help to make the poem memorable. Number 3, these sound devices also aid in making the poem interesting. Some sound devices also help to expose the attitude, the mood, and the tone of a given poem. When set in Kcse examinations, like it is wont, candidates have an advantage of going away with 4 to 6 marks out of the 30 marks found on the part of oral skills. So this is an area that I highly recommend and I highly encourage candidates to really practice on so that they can master this concept, such that should it appear on 2nd of December, when you will be setting your Kcse, then you can have a head start. Thank you very much. Until next time.